Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. If you're new, please hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you can be notified every time a new video is released on this channel. If you want to check out more hood tours, visit my Philadelphia Hoods playlist with over 200 plus tours covering all different neighborhoods in Philadelphia, PA. All right, y'all. So right now we're going to focus on the West Kensington neighborhood in Philly. The borderline of West Kensington, we're going to make a right on Kensington Ave. The borderline is Lehigh Avenue to the north, Dauphin to the south, Kensington or Front Street to the east, and 5th Street to the west. So right now we're under Kensington Avenue. This is a more gentrified part of Philadelphia, especially Kensington. We have action news on my right hand side. You guys saw the guy was carrying his camera. I guess he was going to cover an episode over here. We're passing Huntingdon. We have the Kensington Mini Mart on my right hand side. We got a daycare center on my left hand side. We got new used appliances, Alice Grocery Store, Sun Kim's, and several other Asian businesses on my right hand side, which consist of like delis, cold beer, nail salon, barber shops, and things of that nature. On my left hand side, we got the Old Kelly's Corner, which is now Brightside Academy. I'm gonna let this guy go by. We got Cumberland Street in front of us. On my right hand side, we got Black Tire Shop, new and used tires. We got a Family Dollar on my left hand side. It's been there for probably less than several years. We got Kim Dean here on my right. We got 2440 Lofts on my right. They just made that. That used to be like a recovery lot where people who were ex-addicts, AA Anonymous and all that stuff used to go there, and they used to host sessions. Well, I guess somebody bought out that piece of land and they made lofts right on top of it. On my left hand side, we have what was once a used furniture shop. They sold new and used furniture, like low budget furniture. That spot was sold off, and now it is a spot where you do pop-up baby showers, bridal showers, corporate events, and more. We got K-Fish consumables on my right hand side. We're passing Hunter Elementary School on my right hand side by Front and York. We're going through Front Street. This avenue was once a thriving shopping avenue. It's not really an avenue, I call it an avenue, but it's Front Street. It ends with street, but it was a popular shopping district where locals would come and shop at. As you can see, a lot of the businesses are closed. It's almost like 3:30 in the afternoon, and there's not many businesses open. Some of them are still, trying and striving to stay open. On my right hand side, we got the Philadelphia Free Library. We got Lucky Donuts. We passed the pawn shop. We got General Medicine, several other small businesses, but many of them are closed. We got a tattoo store, 187 Tattoo Studio on my right hand side. All these buildings on my right are for sale. These two buildings right here are new buildings. Now we're actually on Susquehanna. We passed Dauphin 1 block ago. So this is where we're gonna make a right at. We got Stelio's Pizza on my left, and we got Fine Fair Supermarket on my right. They shot the Rocky movie over there. On my left hand side, that corner building on the far left where that gentleman's walking by, that used to be the Rocky gym for the Rocky 1 movie. We're making a right on Susquehanna Avenue. We got Ming River on my left hand side. We got some graffiti on my right. Now, I'm gonna take you guys and show you the original Needle Park. The original Needle Park. Before the other Needle Park over there, McPherson Square, I believe, right there next to the donut shop on Kensington, under the L. This is Norris Square Park on my left-hand side. This neighborhood, back in the 70s and 80s, based on older residents' testimonies, you weren't able to walk in this park without having needles, everywhere. They said they wouldn't allow their kids to play in this park. There would be people, leaning up against the trees, or, shooting up, people falling asleep in the park. This park on my left-hand side came a very, very long way. It's a very popular park right now. Norris Square Park, established in 1857. We're passing Masher Street. I'll get into a little bit more about that park because that park plays a major role in the West Kensington neighborhood. We are in West Kensington. So what I'll do is I'll make a right here, and then we'll zigzag up and around. On my left-hand side, we got West Kensington Ministry. We're gonna make a right up Hancock Street. We got an old dry cleaner here on the left-hand side. Used to be tons and tons of brothers back here. when I was in my younger years playing handball. I can say that I've been to damn near every house. I've been inside every house on this block minus probably 7. So if you would say there's about 50 houses on this block, I've been in them all. If not, I know what the living rooms look like. This is a block that your boy Toonie Magooney, I no longer reside here, but this is the block that Toon grew up on. Yeah, back in the day, this was this was the way. We are now approaching Dauphin, Hancock and Dauphin. Back in the day, there used to be a squad here, DSP, Dauphin Street Posse. We just passed the corner store. We'll talk about people who were shot in the neighborhood. We'll get into a little bit of that in a few moments. So this neighborhood is being gentrified and is heavily invested in. A lot of people are investing in it. And sadly enough to say, they're investing in it after the fact that the locals, took care of it for the last 30 plus years. As you can see, there's a new house on my right. That one has a 2-story top with a 3rd floor, like a deck. On the left-hand side, we got a beautiful church. On the right-hand side, we got a lot. We're on Hancock and York Street. In front of us, we got N&N grocery store on my left-hand side, crossing York. Now, what you're gonna see is you're gonna see houses dropped in a few of the slots, and if they haven't been dropped in yet, they will be dropped in soon. Look on my left, we got 2-story homes. On my right, we got 2-story homes, but then we got a brand new home being worked on. A lot of these houses, for the most part, were kept in really good shape over the years, as far as, they didn't fall apart. People took care of them. That's why you don't see that many abandoned houses in this neighborhood, and the ones that were once abandoned were already renovated and rehabilitated by the organization called Norris Square. On my left, those are 2 new houses that they made in that lot. On my right, we got some 3 stories, we got some 2 stories. On my left, we have a Pentecostal church, but that was once, I believe, a Jewish school back in the day. It's cobblestone and whatnot, but that was a Jewish school. I think it was like some type of schooling of that nature. But as always, we're on Cumberland and Hancock. I don't know it all, so you guys are more than welcome to share your knowledge, share your information, share any memories, any stories you have in the comment section. We got 2-story houses on the left, a 2-story on my right, then we got a brand new 3-story dropped in on my right. Then look on my right, they're building the frost foundation for a few more homes that they're gonna drop in these slots. Boom, boom, another one on my right. On the left side, we got some old homes. On my right side, we got some old homes. This abandoned factory, was once abandoned on my right-hand side. We used to host like weekend parties there. When I was a youngster, I didn't really hang into the parties too much, but I did have some buddies, that used to host the parties. I've been in there probably for like 1 picture, 1 flick. It wasn't really my environment, so I didn't ever like follow up with it. But yeah, that's actually a true story. And it was an abandoned factory where we called it Club Ice. We got a church on my left-hand side. The reason why we called it Club Ice is because when the youngsters from the neighborhood were conducting parties in there, there was no heating, there was no electricity, there was no nothing. So everything was ran via battery operated or extension cord. On my right-hand side, we got a bunch of graffiti. Check it out, check it out. It was battery operated, it was extension cord. From outside, from the next door neighbor, because one of the young dudes lived like right next door to us, so he ran some power in there, and it was Club Ice because there was no heat. We're gonna make this right on Lehigh. Lehigh is the borderline of West Kensington, on Hancock and Lehigh. I'm gonna make this right on Lehigh. Yeah, and it was called Club Ice because there was no heat. We got the lighthouse on my right hand side. We're gonna make this right down Masher, and everybody had to wear like coats and hoodies and skellies, and it was probably like a total of, we got a Cow convenience store on my left. It was probably like a total of maybe 30 youngsters, both male and female, who used to go chill in there and hang out. And I was a part of that. I actually got a picture inside of it, but parties, weren't my thing. But that was part of me being a young 15, 16-year-old, hanging out on the weekends. I was with Hugo and my homie Pito. Hugo and Pete. Pete's real name is Jesus. Yeah, so I used to hang with Jesus and Hugo. We got Albertina grocery on my right-hand side. We got Artículos para su hogar, Mr. Ortiz's spot on my left. Mr. Ortiz is an older gentleman who got this window shop right here. He collects so much radiators and, I don't know, windows and all that stuff, but he serves, locally the community like with radiators and windows. On this block, it's a 3-story block, but as you'll see, you see a few lots, and on my left is a new house, boom, being dropped in. And those lots that are next to the new house, If they haven't already been bought out, they're going to be filled very soon, I promise you. This neighborhood is highly sought after. It was once a really bad neighborhood. Still to this day, you'll still find crimes. Like a night ago, right here on Masher and Lehigh, there was strong arm robbery. Then, like within an hour later, there was a strong arm robbery on Howard and Lehigh, which is on the next block. But then 2 nights before that, on American and Lehigh, there was an attempted robbery, and the suspect was maced by the person who was being robbed. So there's still things that happen in this neighborhood on the regular, but it's not as bad as it used to be. We got a new house being made on my left-hand side, and we got some lots. We're on Masher and Cumberland Street, El Palito Bar on my right-hand side. That used to be a spot. I know that was a Perico spot from what I heard. We got New Kingdom Baptist Church on my left. We got some new houses on my right, or a new house. On my left, you're gonna see a flock of new houses. We got a garage on my right. Look at this whole strip of new houses. Then on my right, some new houses. And then on my left, you're gonna see new houses. And there was a building right here in the corner on my right. You see that empty lot? That was literally a building about 6 months ago. They bought it and they knocked it down. Boom. They made a lot that is gonna be filled in with a new house. On my left-hand side, we got some affordable housing. It's not PHA housing, but it's like mortgage housing that Norris Square Civic Association, which is the nonprofit organization that serves this community, West Kensington, created for, you know, Hispanics, basically, people of Spanish descent. This is primarily a Spanish neighborhood. However, there are people of different races, Cubans, and other, you know, Dominicans and more, and African Americans that all live in this community, or Black Americans, whatever you want to call them, you know what I mean? Delaney Grocery Inc. We're right here at Dauphin and Masher. Now, this is the borderline of West Kensington, but I'm going to cross over because a lot of people still consider this West Kensington up here, including the executive director of Norris Square Civic Association. We have the old Hunter Elementary School on my left-hand side. On my right-hand side, we got many 2-story homes and many 2-story homes on my left. These homes are pretty much well kept. There's older ladies on this block like Edie. Shout out to Edie. Her name is Iris, but you pronounce it in Spanish, Edie. She takes care of the block. She sweeps, she cleans. There's several other old people on this block that clean up and they take care of this block ritualistically. On my left-hand side, there used to be a church back in the day, but they knocked it down. On my right-hand side, we got a little teeny block. And we got a garage on my right. We got houses on my left, and we got a little Notary Public tag place on my left. We're staring at Norris Square Park. My uncle was actually killed right here. I actually have one of my uncles that was killed right here. He was shot twice in the back and once in his head. Right here, we just passed the corner where he passed away at. And my cousins used to own that barbershop right there. I'm gonna slow down right here so traffic behind me can go because everyone is in a rush. That's why I'm kind of going fast here. On my right, that used to be Norris Square Civic Association's main office. They ended up moving across the park, across the street. But before it was Norris Square's main office, back in the day, I believe it was a funeral home. Yeah, it was a funeral home. Now, this neighborhood around the park, we're gonna drive around this park that's now known as Norris Square Park. It's known for its rightful name, but this is the park that was once considered Needle Park. And we're gonna drive around there and I'll talk to you a little bit about the park, and then we'll continue with West Kensington. The reason why I gotta cover this park is because this park is a major role or a major player in the West Kensington community. And Norris Square is a major player in the West Kensington community and the revitalization of Norris Square. We're passing Palethorpe Street. We got new #1 Chinese kitchen on my right, this building on my left. They bought it. It's a beautiful large building. It's sad enough to say they bought it and they're probably gonna take it down soon. Meaning they're gonna knock it down and build some lofts or something there. We got YH Auto Tags on my right. We got Diaz's Food Market, PA Lottery on my left. You can play lottery there. That building right there, the brown one on my left on the corner, has been hit by Septibus, I think 2 or 3 times. Right there in the corner. You see how there's poles now in front of the entrance? There's poles. If you look really close at that entrance, there's poles there. That's because for some apparent reason, Septibus didn't only hit it once, it hit it 3 times. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Yeah. Over the years. So I know they got one hefty insurance policy there because it keeps getting hit. We're on 2nd Street. 2nd Street is like a little high traffic street. It's 2-lane, travels the same way. We got 3-story homes all up and down this block, but we do have some new homes. We got a new home on my right-hand side, and it is for sale. It is for sale. We're now approaching Diamond Street. On my left-hand side, we got Spoiler Down Speed Shop, a rim shop. You can get like stickers, decals, car parts. On my right, you got Father and Son's Auto Glass. I've been going to them for years. Like whenever I need any glass work, any windshields, any rear windshields, any glass work or motor, you know, like the door motors, the complicated stuff, I would get them to do it. On my left, we got Perfect Touch. We're gonna make this left on Diamond. That building with all the artwork right here on the corner, the little tiny one, the 1-story one, that was a father's automotive shop. And he used to sell spray paint, because I remember I was like 13 years old and he was selling me spray paint without IDing me, and I used to use it to spray paint on walls. Bad, right? We're passing Palethorpe Street. That shop, he was in a wheelchair. The father was probably in his 50s, 60s in a wheelchair. His son was, I think, strung out on drugs. He was like in his probably late 20s or early 30s. Anyway, he killed his pop. He killed his father and they closed down their building, but that's a sad story. On my right-hand side is where Norris Square Civic Association moved to. That's the new building. This was once St. Boniface Church, St. Boniface Catholic Church. There was a church right here where these new houses are at. They're actually sitting on church grounds. It was a really tall, historic church. It's actually on my page. I did an episode or 2 about it back in the day, several years ago. Now, those houses are brand new. They were built on it probably less than 9 years ago. And I think they sold for about $220,000 each, almost $300,000, give or take. I think it depends on which one. But yeah, they're clean brick pointed. They're brand new, central air, central heat, 10-year tax abatement, all the amenities and whatnot. Those were definitely closer to the $300,000 end. We're at Master Street. You can see Kensington Hospital on my right. Kensington Hospital, I know the most for like dentistry work, but I think people go there for like probably like therapy, mental therapy and things of that nature. I think there was a little methadone clinic right here on my right hand side. I remember back in the day, used to be a bunch of people there waiting for, I think, their substances. We got Halftime Good Time Bar on my right. We got let me see, let me go straight real quick. We got North Philly Pharmacy on my right. And then we got Kensington building on my left. We got some new homes on my right, as you'll see. You'll see it's like a giant apartment building, and we got some new rehabilitated homes. On the left, this building in the corner. If you look at the movie Shooters, they shot it here in Philly. There's a scene right here under this L where they shot a scene where they chained the cop, they cuffed the cop to that corner building, and you can see the church and all that when it was standing in its glory. On my right, we're on Front Street. We have new buildings, and on my left we got lots that will be turned to new buildings. Then we're approaching the Rocky Gym, this burgundy building on my right hand side at the corner. Now if you go right, you'll cross over to East Kensington. If you go left, you're in West Kensington. If you keep on going straight, we're on Front Street. The L is Front Street. Once you follow the L and like 2 blocks on York Street, it turns, it curves up, and then it turns into Kensington. If you keep going about 3 minutes, 4 minutes up to Kensington, you'll get to where all the problematic opioid addiction and all of that stuff is at. So we got Stelio's Pizzeria on my right. I'm going to make this left at Fine Fair. I believe I told you guys this once before, but I'll tell you again and again. This Fine Fair used to be Pet Boys back in the day, if I'm correct. Feel free to chime in on that, but I've been told that by 2-3 other older individuals. All right, so we got Norris Square Park right here on my left. We can talk a little bit about Norris Square Park. Let's make this right on Howard Street. We're gonna make this right. Now, Norris Square Park, like I said, it was considered Needle Park. We're making it right, we're on Howard Street. We have the mail carrier on my left. She's about to deliver mail. We have New Wave Food Market on my left. It's a little Dominican mom and pop shop. It's a 3-story block. You're gonna see tons of houses on my left that were just dropped here not too long ago. So Norris Square and this neighborhood, West Kensington, back in the day, it was primarily a Spanish neighborhood. What happened was a lot of these residents, they would move into a home. You see new homes on my left? MS grocery store on my right. They would move into a home. We're on Dauphin Street. They would get a lot next to their home. The lot would be full of rubbish, trash, abandoned, whatever the case may be. They would do their best to take care of it. They take care of it, and they took care of it for many years, 10, 15, some of them 20, 30 years. We're on Howard Street. This whole strip right here was made by Norris Square Civic Association, a major player in the West Kensington community. They made these homes as affordable housing, and again, they're not PHA. These aren't Section 8 houses. You had to have a job, you had to qualify. You got about $50,000, $60,000 of subsidy based on your income from the city on grants, especially if you were a first-time home buyer. And these homes, to my knowledge, I think they were going for $135,000 each. I think like close to $150,000 each. I think it depends on which one, because they made more right across this block right here. Howard and York. We got what used to be a little daycare center on the left, but that was like several things. A daycare center, a church, a corner store. Yeah. We got Hunter School on my right. Hunter School, that's the new Hunter. Hunter was made on Hope Street. They completely eliminated Hope Street and made Hunter right across it. And then on my left, we got more Norris Square Civic Association homes, as you can tell by the architecture of the houses. So Norris Square and that park, Needle Park, it was said that there was a group of, a dozen women, motivos, I believe that was their movement. I don't pronunciate Spanish well, so I'm sorry. But there was a group of neighborhood women which were tired of the drugs, which were tired of the city not coming in and cleaning the neighborhood. They wouldn't pick up trash. They were basically neglecting the neighborhood. We're passing Cumberland and Howard. They just made that building on my right. It used to be a water ice factory there where you can buy wholesale water ice. On my left, we got Waterloo Playground, and we got some new houses on my left-hand side. So these same women were the ones who would take care of the lots. They were the ones who would take care of the community. They cleaned up the park. They cleaned up the riffraff. They did all of that. They even, in some cases, some of them tried to apply for those lots from the city. They try to, get the lot or whatever. Look at new houses on my left. They're actually doing work right now. New house on my right. But they were told, some of them were told that the city owns the lots, that the lots weren't for sale, whatever the case may be, right? So we're gonna go up one more block. We got JR Grocery Store on my left. This little housing section right here on my right, we got Union Temple Baptist Church on my left. I believe this is PHA, Kensington Townhomes, professionally managed by the Interstate Realty Management Company. So I don't know, maybe that's not PHA, but it is managed by a specific entity. So I'm assuming maybe they charge rent. Shout out to Oban, because this is Oban's block. Oban is a Philadelphia graffiti artist. Free Oban. I think he booked right now. But yeah, so as you can see, this neighborhood, even though it's not the Kensington that you guys are familiar with, on every single building that meant something that we drove by, it has the Kensington stamp on it. Or it's called a Kensington this or Kensington that. So we're going to make this left here. We're on Lehigh Avenue again. We got Fine Fair on my right. We got a pickup truck right here with a four-wheeler and a nice supermoto. It looks good. Right, so let me see. I think I want to make sure I take you guys to stuff that you guys are actually going to be able to be entertained by and not be repetitive. On my right hand side, we got Masher Playground. We got Mis Viejos bar on my right too. Let me see. I wonder if I can go left on that block. I think I'm gonna go left here. Don't travel in the center lane, guys. You're not supposed to be traveling left, but in the center lane, but it's cool. I'm doing it for YouTube. We got the White House on my left hand side, and we got a live poultry spot right here. So I'm gonna make this left. Yeah, there's stop signs over here, meaning that I can take this strip. So we got the lighthouse on my left. So a lot of those females, not only did they take care of the park because the city was neglecting this neighborhood and not picking up trash, and they were basically treating it like a no-go zone. They were taking care of it for many years. They cleaned up the park. They created Norris Square neighborhood projects. Norris Square Civic Association was empowering the community. Norris Square was specifically only hire people from the community. They were firm believers. The executive director was firm believers on hiring people from the neighborhood because they knew the community best, and she wanted to empower people from the community. She didn't care your background. She didn't care if you had a criminal record. The executive director at one point in her life was a lawyer, and she understood that sometimes people get into sticky situations and it may not always be their fault. There's two sides to a story. We got a boner B to my left hand side. Throw up. A throw up is a bubble letter for those of you guys who wonder what I was just talking about. We're on Hancock and Huntington. So we got the Ministry of Luz de Mundo on my right. It's a church. We're passing Palethorpe Street. Yeah, so a lot of those lots that these females were taking care of ended up getting bought under their noses. What do I mean by bought under their noses? Remember I said some of them applied for them. Many of them put money. They put fences in them. You know, they did everything they could to clean them, to maintain them. They treated them as their own. They turned them to gardens. They brought the neighborhood to life. Well, within the last decade, I would say decade and a half, gentrification hit this neighborhood very, very hard, to the point, there used to be a gas station right there to my left, that lot. I believe it was a Hess gas station. And like 10 years ago, they pulled up all of the gas pumps that was underground, and somebody bought the lot and turned it into now a little used car dealership lot. But I don't know how successful they are, because I don't really see nobody really buying stuff from them. We got Sylvia's Bakery on my right. That used to be a laundromat. They just made that. To be honest, they just opened when the whole sickness started going around last year in 2020. And on the grand opening, they had to shut down because of, social distancing and whatnot. We got a car system shop on my right. We got a tattoo shop on my left. That car system shop on my right, if you want any fiberglass work, we're passing Cumberland, 2nd and Cumberland. You get all your custom door pods, speakers, and everything. You get your systems done there for your cars. On my left-hand side, we got Dan's Custom Car Audio. He does vinyl upholstery, headliners, interiors, seats, fabric, everything. On my right, we got Engine Ladder 2. So we're passing York Street. We got what used to be a little flat freak shop on my left. We got a M&V beer distributors on my right. We got Auto CJ Sales on my left. Shout out to Jose and the gang, Eric and his brother and all them. On my right hand side, we just passed what used to be Salsa Lou's tin shop. I actually got robbed inside that tin shop when I was a youngster. Shout out to my cousin Ange Chavo, who's a YouTuber now. We're at 3R's used cars on my left. I was about to say used grocery on my left. Yeah, I got robbed in there with the owner and everybody who was in there. Like, I was just supposed to be getting my car tinted. I was supposed to just repair one window. We're making a left on Dauphin. And my cousin was with me and my homie. Shout out to Ramon and Kids Garage. Ramon and Kids Garage, which is a YouTuber, and Chavo or Ainge YT. Ainge YouTube. We're passing Palethorpe Street. Ainge YouTube was with me too. And we was in there. We was waiting to be next. And they went inside. They jammed up the whole place. They robbed everybody in it, including us. Yeah, it was kind of like being at the wrong spot at the wrong time. And then I was fried, so I wasn't functioning mentally correctly. I should have been sober-minded. I literally just blew a L before I even sat down, and that was bad business. We just passed Hancock and Dauphin. We got a little church on my left. So anyway, like I was saying about the neighborhood, we're gonna make this right, and we can go talk about this block one more time before I cross over to like America Street, 4th Street, and all that stuff. So then it's like Edie on my right. For example, she's one of the people that she was taking care of the yard, and she had an extended yard, blah, 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 blah. They bought it straight from under her nose. They hopped, the new owner hopped the fence. He didn't care that she had stuff in there. He moved all her stuff to the side. He said, I own this lot now, blah, blah, blah. And they're gonna build. Bottom line, at the end, they're gonna build. Let's make this left here. I got traffic behind me, and then it gives me a time to go back around the block and also show you the stories, because I want to talk to you about how many people got shot on, just the one block of 2200 block of Hancock alone. So we're gonna make this left on Waterloo Street, and on this block too, not only do we have some original houses, the 2-story houses, you see some lots and whatnot. Those lots will eventually get bought out soon, but you'll see a new house dropped right here in the middle of the block, and it's not the same 2-story as all of them. They made a 3-story. They made a 2-story in the front, and then they added a 3rd floor with like a deck and everything. Same thing on my left, a 3-story home. They basically overshadow the old school homes. Wow, that was a heavy bump. They overshadow the old school homes that used to be here. This is Hunter Elementary School, which is closed down. Then it was like an extended learning school for like dropouts or something on my left. I don't know what it was. I forgot the name of it. On my right and on my far right, you'll see that there's a new home. There's 3-story. It towers over the little 2-story. Towers over it. Extremely tall. They just made that too like 2 months ago. All right, so they started buying out all of the lots and just basically, they had no concern for the people who lived there. One lady, she took care of a lot next to her house, blah, blah, blah. All right, she took care of it. She don't own it. All right. But not only did they come in and build like in such a rude manner, and a lot of these people just say, oh, well, we own this lot, like you can't do nothing about it, blah, blah, blah. When they were building, they ended up ruining the foundation to her property, causing cracks in her walls, cracks straight down through her basement from the 3rd floor to the 1st floor. Now she's fearing that her house, might come collapsing, might fall down. Then she told the new owners of the new property, will you guys be fixing the cement work? They said, yeah, that a cement truck was going to come. The cement truck never came. And boom. Yeah, that car in front of us just went up a one-way, because this is a one-way. You seen that black Chrysler that just went by us? This is a one-way. That's a new house they made right there. They already broke the window and they put a middle finger on the wall. You see it? They threw rocks at the window and broke it. This is a brand new building. Brand new building. But, those bricks and rocks are probably from people who are unhappy with how these people went about their business. We're making a left on Masher. It's one way to, say, knock on the door. Hello, ma'am. We just wanted to give you a heads up. In 3 weeks, we're going to be doing some building next door. We correctly have the papers. On one case, the female was like that she asked for papers and they didn't want to show her nothing. They said, well, we own it and that's it. On my right, look at a brand new house. Right? So these people who clean up the park, who created a great neighborhood, who was great, created basically a desirable neighborhood. Because they moved to this Kensington versus moving to North Kensington first. Why do you think so? It's closer to Center City. This is probably 10 minutes from Center City, 10 minutes from the Ben Frank Bridge, depending on how you drive. Look, they got a little mini love sign on my right-hand side. Guess who made that? Edie, Miss Iris, and her and all the old folks from this block hooked that little park up there. And they painted it by hand. They put rocks and stones, and there was a bunch of old folks out there hooking this block up. And these are, mainly this block right here is old folks. There's old folks that take care of this block. As you can see, the houses are painted, pretty well. There, you won't find that much trash on the street, especially for the Erie's house. And all right, so this block right here, let's go back to the people who passed away. My uncle was shot right here. One of my uncles, Mike Raw, was shot right here on my right-hand side. He got shot twice in his back. They walked out to him. They put one in his head. Boom. That happened when I was probably like 10, maybe 9, 10. Susquehanna Avenue. We're on Susquehanna. We got Norris Square Park in front of us. People have been robbed there. There's been all types of situations. Back in the day, they said that park right there was the middle zone where the Fishtown people would come and would fight with the minorities over here, and they would meet in the park and have wars, from what I was told. Now we're back right here in front of, Norris Square's old building. Somebody died right here on my left-hand side, right here. He ran through this whole block of Hancock right here. We're gonna go to my right. He ran through this whole block of Hancock on a snowy day, dripped blood through the whole block and died right over there. He was shot on that corner. We're passing Kelowna. On my left-hand side, we got some new houses. Shout out to my homie Nilo and Andy. I believe they're the ones building one of those houses. I'm gonna make this right here because somebody was killed right here on this block back in the day. Died right here on my left-hand side. Killed right here. There used to be like a memorial and all that there. That was removed a long time ago. Right here too. All right, let's go up a little bit more so we can continue talking about who else passed away just in this little 1 block radius. I actually didn't mention Nana, who got shot right here next to Hunter School. He got shot and they had to staple, they cut his whole leg from his thigh down to his ankle, and they had to hit him with staples because he needed major surgery. I think they called an artery. Yep. And right up the block, right next to that Chinese store, right in front of us, not this block, but the next block on Palethorpe, that Chinese store that we passed, Little Rock got killed. Lil Rock was a Black American young brother from Howard Street. He got killed there back in the day. All right, let's go through a little bit more. There's been a few occasions where there's been shootouts right here in the middle of the block. People ducking cars, shooting at each other. And I can tell you from experience, somebody's car got shot and they asked my pop, yo, can you do the body work to cover up the bullet holes? Yep, they paid my pop to cover up the bullet holes. A Banshee on a dirt bike got pulled out of this yard right here on my right, and then they rode it by the next day like if they didn't just steal it from that yard. Mo was shot on this block. OG Mo. I remember I used to cut Mo's hair, and Mo wanted to face, I used to cut his hair outside, and he wanted to face inside because he has so much PTSD, like post-traumatic stress disorder, that he didn't feel comfortable facing the street because he didn't know who was going to see him and whatnot. Nana was, actually, this is Nana's brother right here, the one with the burgundy coat, Timster. Tim, he big now. I actually had him when he was a youngster, but his brother got shot right here next to this blue building. That's the one that I said that got his whole leg stapled up. That's his younger brother there with the burgundy coat. And up and down this whole avenue, people was shot. I mean, I even got robbed in this neighborhood, not once, but on 2 occasions got caught slacking. Both times I was under the influence, which is probably the worst thing that I could have ever done to myself. Because when you under the influence, you're not on your P's and Q's and you're not thinking of accordingly. These were in my younger years. One time, I believe we were passing El Cantiflas Bar on my right. We were making a left up Hope Street. Yeah, these are times where I was under the influence on both occasions. I think one time I was 19, and I believe the other time I was like 21. So within like a 2 to 3 year period, I got robbed twice at gunpoint, guns to my head, guns to my neck. I got pistol whipped in the face. I actually had a loose tooth that almost fell out, almost lost my tooth. And I didn't have health insurance. I didn't have enough money to afford going to the dentist. I had to let it naturally harden back up. For like a year, it was hard to eat. Look at these new houses on my right, for rent. For like a year, it was hard as ever to eat. I couldn't bite into food without feeling like the raw sensation like in my gum. My tooth not only healed crooked, but it healed blue. So I used to say I had a blue tooth, because like I guess the nerve in it died a little bit. So if I smile, or if you guys ever watched any of my Toon Talks and see how there's a little gap in my tooth, there wasn't always a gap in my tooth. So like at least not that bad. But the thing is that situation happened, and yeah, it is what it is, you know. It's a part of the story, you know. It's a part of what I went through. But let's make this left down here one more time, and then we're gonna come up Waterloo, and then we'll cross over American Street and see if we can get to the rest of West Kensington. But all up and down these blocks, there's been shootings, there's been robberies. This was also a major crack corner. Dauphin, Hancock and Dauphin, crack corner. Howard and Dauphin, crack corner. Right here on Maxwell Street, I don't know if Edie and all the old heads here like kept it on smash, and they made sure that nobody came through and traffic substances here. I'm born in 88, so I can't speak before 88, like what this block right here was like. But the old folks kept it nice, you know. And then the women in the neighborhood, like, you know, the movement that I told you that cleaned up Norris Square Park when it was called Needle Park. And I remember, I could tell you from my experience, when I was a kid, looking at this park, walking by, it was probably like 5 in the afternoon on a winter day, on a cold winter day. The reason why I said it was 5 in the afternoon, because it was still early. You know how daylight savings, it get dark earlier. Right here on this corner, I'm about to show you, there were 2 people doing it doggy style. And some girl that I grew up on the block with named Keisha, she threw a brick at one of them. Mind you, she was like, I was probably like 11, 12. She was like a year younger than me. Right here on my left-hand side, right here on my left, like right on the corner of the park, right here in the open. They was out there doing it raw doggy style. They must have been high, they must have been drunk, but she threw a brick at him, pop, and hit him right up the head, right in the head with a brick. So yeah, let's make this right here. We're gonna make this right on Cologne and then go up Waterloo. Yeah. I make this left right here. No, not Waterloo, Mutter. We already went up Waterloo. So again, as you can see, there's some lots here. These lots are gonna get bought out if they haven't already been bought out. Some people took care of their lots, you know, they're maintaining it better than others. Some people also don't own their lots, so they're smart enough to know not to put any money into it, because, you know, at any given time they can get taken away from them, and developers can come in and just build, and you got to take out your stuff. But we're now approaching Dauphin. As of like 2-3 years ago, like this was a chill spot for a lot of the newer generation on Dauphin. Now there's a couple different generations that's been on Dauphin Street. This is Dauphin Street. You know, there's the generation from the 80s, probably the 70s, generation from the 80s, you know, early 80s, then late 80s, then early 90s, then late 90s, and then the early 2000s. I would have probably, you know, been a part of like the early 2000s neighborhood kids. Now, there's also the late 2000s or the mid 2000s kids, like 2008, 2009, 2010. there was a whole nother group of youngsters hanging out there that weren't even from the block. And then up until this day, there's new people who be out there that just be chilling out there, that they come from wherever to chill. They don't sell product as much as they used to. Because back in the day, they, you know, that block used to get in. You used to see crackheads walking all around here. I remember being a kid, they didn't wait to get off the corner to snort the coke. They didn't wait to get off the corner to put the new house on my right, to take the Brillo pad, stuff the glass pipe, and smoke the rock right across the street. And that's what I used to see growing up. And the thing was is that I was so universal that I, like, a lot of the homies from the block had to stay on the block. I didn't have no real strict limit on where I was told to go. My pop had confidence in me, and like I said, my mom lived all throughout the city. My pop raised me, so I was like, I got a chance to experience not just, you know, Kensington, but I was experiencing all the hoods that my mom was moving to, from Frankford to Fairhill to all over, to, you know what I mean, some of the worst neighborhoods. Like, my mom hasn't always been financially, you know, able to buy the best homes or rent the best homes, I should say. So, you know, she went to some hoods, and I was in them hoods visiting her and hanging out, and vice versa. We're gonna make this left right here on Huntingdon. Like, for example, I'm gonna go right over here on Palethorpe Street, and then we're gonna cross over to the other side of West Kensington. Right here, about less than a year ago, they shot somebody right here on my right hand side. Shot and killed him, and I actually knew who he was, which is kind of messed up. On my right hand side, there's an orange cone standing on a box. This is Lou Rock's block. Shout out to Lou Rock. Surge. They shot Surge right here on my right hand side. Yeah, Surge. Surge used to ride Banshee. Surge used to ride dirt bikes. I knew Surge for, like, since I was a young boy. Like, Surge didn't age either. Surge looked as young as he looked 15 years ago when I saw him. He didn't age at all. Like, he must have had, like, the fountain of youth. But this is the block that they killed him on less than nine months ago. Yeah. They killed him, and they got a memorial out there for him. And yeah, it is what it is, you know? We got the homies right here talking, chatting it up. The homie right there with the Skelly, that's his Civic right here on the right. He don't know who is driving behind him, right? Yeah, he started waving. He started waving, but I think because he like knows my vehicles, knows that I like the Hondas and he likes the Hondas, and he gave me props when he saw that I painted my hatchback Civic. He's like, yo dog, you did a great job on that John, man. Yeah, but this is one of the blocks that I got chased through. If y'all check out my do not enter, you know, Philadelphia's most dangerous hoods, do not enter. It's a video that I recently uploaded at nighttime. You guys will see that I tell my story about when I got chased through here with the dirt bike, my 150R, the cops try to hit me off the bike and all that. You gotta go watch that video though. But yeah, so we back on 2nd and Lehigh. This is the borderline of West Kensington. I'm gonna make this right, and I'm gonna go around this traffic so we don't gotta see 2nd Street again. I'm gonna go down to, I'm gonna take it down to like Susquehanna, and then come up 3rd Street, because Dauphin goes left and we want to go right, so I can show you guys the other half. We got McDonald's, we passed the Checkers. On my right, we got Plaza Americana. This is, so that Rite Aid on my left, they just killed somebody there. I would say, not to over-exaggerate, like 3 weeks ago. Maybe three and a half weeks ago. It was 5 a.m. I don't know what the dude was doing, but he was at Rite Aid. They killed him right out front of Rite Aid. Remember I said that there was a robbery gone wrong where they got maced, where the robber got maced because he tried to rob somebody? It was right here on this corner, American and Lehigh. This is where it was reported at, American and Lehigh. On my right hand side, you got the old Cousins building. That's that building that's gated up. Cousins is a supermarket. Before Rite Aid was here, Rite Aid used to be on like by like Frankford, by like Trenton and Lehigh. Before this Rite Aid was here, there was a tall factory, a really, really tall factory. This is American Street. American Street was just heavily gentrified and rehabilitated. There used to be train tracks running straight through the middle. I actually documented this neighborhood and I did a long walkthrough and everything, showing you guys I like took you on a tour. It's on my channel on one of my vlogs, where I talked about all of these buildings and I went through here and talked about what it was gonna look like. They weren't even up here yet, and I said that it was gonna look like this. And boom, if you go look at that video and you go see what it looks like now, you're gonna say, damn, Toon like knew exactly what he was talking about. Look at, they made a little bike lane here. So there used to be railroad tracks going across the middle. This was an industrial street. I'm not gonna say avenue, but you know, I got the habit of saying avenue sometimes when it's a commercial spot. But this was an industrial street, and in the middle there was railroad tracks that were out of business for many, many years. They weren't using them, but they were just there. The street was really, really, really wide. You didn't have nothing in the middle stopping you from making turns. We just passed Cumberland. On my right hand side, there'd be like a little ghetto car wash here. Drama B2R's most popular music video was shot right there in that lot. Shout out to Drew. Drew was the one who actually shot the music video. We got Kofco on my right. Look at all those new chairs right out there. Wow, well, they're not new, but they're like leather chairs. That Kofco office always throws out some old chairs, so that's the situation. We're passing York Street. We got American Wholesale Distributor on my far left. So this street right here looked different. I mean, it's the same street, left and right. The businesses still look the same, but they basically changed the street from top to bottom, from Cambria all the way down to Girard. On my left hand side, this Yokohama Seafood Company on my left. To my knowledge, there was a bust done there. I think a lawyer had that freaking large warehouse, and anyway, they did a bust with over, I think, 800,000. I think it said $800,000 of marijuana. I think it was like a couple hundred. It was like a grow farm. They had pounds of weed, all that stuff. Anyway, they busted that spot probably less than 17 years ago. Kofco on my right. We got 2207 Studios on my left. They just hooked that studio up on my left like 12 years ago, 10, 11, 12 years ago. We got Chase Foods on my right. So we just passed Dauphin Street. We're actually one block past the borderline of West Kensington. But again, depending on who you talk to, they would still consider this area over here Kensington. But again, that's, you know, if you look at the borderline of West Kensington on the map, you can't argue the borderline because that's what the city deems it as. However, people would say this is West Kensington. Bodine, but we're only one block shy of West Kensington, which is to my right. We're about to make this right here. Boom, watch. We're about to make this right. We're gonna make this right. We're going up 3rd Street. Now, once we get to the corner of this block, will be West Kensington, up until Lehigh. And then we got up until 5th Street on my left. We can move, we're on 3rd Street. So if we go about another 2-3 blocks to my left, that's the end of West Kensington. So we got some garages here. Yo, this old head right here on my right, and on my left, look at RX-7, Punto Ocho. Yo, he got like 3 or 4 RX-7s. And I learned how to drive an RX-7. Stick shift. I was 13. Ooh-wee! I love RX-7s. I gotta have one before I check out this earth. So we're on 3rd and Dauphin Street. So now we're in West Kensington because we're on Dauphin. Remember, the borderline south is Dauphin. The borderline north is Lehigh. The borderline west is 5th Street. The borderline east is Kensington or Front Street. Look on my right hand side. New homes. We can actually go down Wooder and I think right behind Episcopal Hospital. I should have showed y'all that too. Should have showed y'all that. I could probably still show y'all that. I mean, we got about what 12 on the clock left. We're on 3rd and York. All right, I think that's what I'm gonna do because I showed y'all this neighborhood before in the Drama B2R tour. If you guys check out that rapper, you know, look at a new home on my right, so skinny and cute. If you guys go and look at this lot right here, this lot right here will eventually be, oh, she walking her dog. It's like a little hot dog thingy majiggy. She needs some ketchup and some mustard with that hot dog, some relish and some sauerkraut and some onions and some pickles. Say now, but yeah, we're on 3rd and Cumberland. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a right down Cumberland just so I can show y'all the 3 or 4 little blocks that's closest to all this trash on my left. But don't think that trash is gonna be there forever. I've been showing you guys both of these sides of Kensington and specifically purposely avoiding regular North Kensington because I want you guys to see that North Kensington has potential to do the same. This neighborhood looked just like North Kensington. Actually, probably at the time when this neighborhood looked the worst, North Kensington probably looked a hairline better. So if what looked the worst ended up looking better right now than North Kensington, just know that it's only a matter of time before North Kensington cleans up. This neighborhood had drugs. This neighborhood had violence. This neighborhood had all the above. We had a Needle Park. We were probably the original Needle Park. When this was Needle Park, that park over there, McPherson, I think that's the name of it. We're passing 2nd Street. That park over there was still beautiful and still had a library that was still in functioning. We're passing a bark piece on my left-hand side. Passing Palethorpe Street. Iglesia Movimiento Evangelistic Church on my left. We're passing Hancock. Yeah, so, you know, at the time when this neighborhood was a little rough, the Kensington over there, I'm not going to say the Kensington over there wasn't rough, but Custer Street wasn't as bad. Willard Street, all them streets wasn't that bad. You know how I know? Because my mom lived on Custer Street, right next to the Strip. Right now, if you go to my mom's old block where she lived at, it's a drug block, and it's a heavy, hard drug block. You know what I mean? We're passing Waterloo. We got a no outlet on my left, Waterloo Playground. El Hoopty, the CRV on my left hand side said El Hoopty on the back window. That means the Hoopty. There's an old guy that drives that CRV, so he considers that his Hoopty. We got Hope Street on my left. Remember I said that they closed off Hope Street on my right to build Hunter School? Now, there used to be a guy that owned Price's Right on Front Street that lived on that little block of Hope Street. He was a ethnic white gentleman. He was a white American male, probably Irish or something. But he was real cool. My pop knew him, and he used to sell all types of fireworks from his house. I remember being a kid going into his house, copping fireworks, and you could cop everything from like sticks of dynamite to, I mean, we're passing Lee Street. I mean, he would sell them to age-appropriate people. He wouldn't sell 10-year-old sticks of dynamite, but he would definitely sell us, you know, what you call them, firecrackers, jumping jacks. We're passing Water Street. I'm gonna go up Water Street. I just want to make a left here first, and we'll come back around. He would sell, you know, smoke bombs, the freaking little cubes of boxes that would shoot like the whistle rockets, the what's those sticks that shoot? I got shot with one of them. Like in one of my stories, I was telling y'all, the candles that shoot, the Roman candles. Look on my left. This is West Kensington, and on my right you got Potter Street. Like we could have went up Potter Street. Should I go up Potter for y'all? Yeah, let me go up Potter for y'all so that y'all can see that, and then we'll go around twice, just so y'all can see like these little areas. Now, this is right next to the borderline of West Kensington. If you go one more block right, you'll actually hit Kensington Avenue. But as you can see, it's a residential area. Quiet. Trash. You got trash on my left, trash on my right. There's Asians that live in this area. That's probably because the Asian strip mall is next door, like right on Kensington. So this is Episcopal Hospital in front of us. This is the hospital where I was born at, y'all. Toon was born in Episcopal Hospital in 1988. So my pop, you know, this is the back side of the hospital. That's not the front side. But we're passing Henry House, a program of Northeast Center on my left. Yeah, so we're right here on Huntingdon and A Street. We just was on A, remember we turned? So we're gonna come up Water, because actually on Water Street, another gentleman was just shot in the head and survived it. He survived it, but plenty of people died up and down this. Oh, look at them classic cars, y'all. Woo woo, for the classic cars. We're on Lee Street. I'm gonna make this left on Lee Street. Boom, Lee Street. So now we're going down Lee Street. One of my sisters used to live on this block. Now, back in the day, these blocks again was drug strips. I mean, look at, you got on my left hand side, you got Long Live Ant. Somebody passed away and they loved him that much that this was probably his block, and they wrote Long Live Ant on the building, you know. And I did that before. When Walt passed away, it's on my channel. The day that Walt passed away, I think it was vlog 312, I believe 312, or was it 316? I have no idea. I can't think of it right now because I haven't looked at that vlog in many years. I showed a lot of hurt and a lot of pain in that vlog. But I know that I went and bought some spray paint, and I went to his childhood home, and I bombed the whole front of the house, and I wrote his name, rest in peace, Walt. And we wrote on the sidewalk. We really just bombed the whole house, and just like that. So the dude just got shot here probably 6-7 months ago. Yep, 6-7 months ago, right here, shot in the head. And he was fortunate enough to survive, but I don't know if that has to do with Kensington Hospital being right here and behind him, like in front of him. Like it's in front of us now, but I say behind because this is the backside of Episcopal Hospital. Episcopal Hospital is actually on Lehigh. Look on my left, there's some new homes. Boom, 3 stories, brand new 3 stories. And they're doing what Snoop Dogg do, dropping like it's hot, dropping like it's hot. They're dropping them everywhere. They got Episcopal Hospital in front of us. It's the hospital I was born at, y'all. We drove by there in the beginning of the story of this tour. On my left-hand side, here's a fun fact. I got my very first tattoo on my neck, right here. This last house to my left. This house to my left. That one with the gated doorway. That was the first time I ever got a tattoo. I was 17 years old. I got it on my neck. We're on Front and Huntingdon. We got Calypso Bar right there. That's been there for a good period of time. Let's keep on traveling. So I at least wanted to show y'all those blocks because I felt like I skipped them. We got Hope Street here. Let me make this left on Hope Street so y'all can see Hope Street. The twins live there. Harry's sisters. Alicia, well, no. Harry's cousins. Alicia's Harry's sister. We went to school with Alicia, knew Harry. Harry ended up getting married with Samantha. And he got 2 twin cousins that live there. Look at rehabilitated house on my left. So yeah, there's a lot more stories and memories in this neighborhood that I'm sure if I actually spent more than an hour to break down, I can get into detail. But I don't have enough time. It's only a 1-hour tour. I try to keep them 1 hour long. See, this block in front of us, we're on Hope Street, but this block in front of us kept on going straight. And go ahead, buddy. It's the mailman. I'm gonna let him go. In front of us, this was a straight. You can go straight down this block in front of us, and that's where I used to buy fireworks when I was a kid from town. Whoever's from this neighborhood gonna know exactly who I'm talking about. Oh, that store on my right, Suzette Mini Market. She was 1 grade higher than me when I went to high school. I graduated class of 06, so that means she was class of 05. She owns that store. Yeah. Jose's Mini Market on my right. Oh, perfect. I actually just seen another little block where they're making a bunch of homes, and it'd be good to show y'all. Now let me go left here coming up. Go left right here. Black tire shop on my left. That's that old Kelly's Corner building in front of us with Brightside Academy. There used to be Mariana Bersetti too, which was a charter school. Right now it's another charter school. But I think since school's all messed up right now with the way things are looking, I don't even think that it's in session. I'm gonna make a left here. Shout out to Orlando. This was Orlando's grandma's block. His grandparents took real good care of him. I always admired how his grandparents took care of him. We passed Potter. We got EF Civic on my right hand side. Really an ED, but the Japanese base code is EF. On Huntingdon, we are at the back of Episcopal Hospital. Now I'm gonna go up 1 block. I know y'all saw this, but that's the way Philly works. You gotta go around blocks 2-3 times in order to show more than one thing. I'm gonna cut down Lee Street once again. We got the classic cars right here on my left for the classic car enthusiast, Chevelle. Woo-wee! What's the other one? The other one I couldn't even tell. So that definitely ain't a Duster, because my pop had a nice 70s Duster. Plymouth Duster. Woo! I remember getting pulled over by the police with my in the car with my pop. I was like 5-6 years old, and they would pull my pop over just to talk about the car. Yeah. Oh man. All right, we're approaching Jose's Mini Market. This block over here, I'm gonna show you because they're making new homes right here, or they made new homes. And it shows you that Kensington has potential. If you go watch my East Kensington video, that neighborhood is getting hit heavy. New houses everywhere. New houses back to back. But this is West Kensington, and West Kensington is definitely getting gentrified, but Norris Square has fought hard and heavy to keep the developer out. Look on my right-hand side, new homes, but look on my left. Look at all this dumping. This is Hunter Elementary School in front of us. Look at the new homes on my right. They already spray painted on the wall, on the boards. They probably already broke windows and whatnot. But like I said, Norris Square is a major player for doing their best to keep the developer out. They try to keep the housing affordable because she knows that when prices go up, taxes go up, and it's going to wean out the older residents, and the executive director does not approve of that. Look on my right. New homes, but they're already boarded up, and you know, it's going to be a while until they get, you know, some residents that's going to deal with the ever evolving neighborhood. All right, we just passed York Street, and we got some new houses on my right, guys, but unfortunately that is going to conclude our very small short tour of West Kensington, the West Kensington neighborhood in Philadelphia, PA, North Philly. Now, in the future, we're going to definitely cover this neighborhood more on days with better weather, and I already did this neighborhood several times on my Philadelphia Hoods playlist. It's called Philadelphia Hoods. So make sure you check out that playlist. There's over 200 plus tours covering all different neighborhoods in Philly, including this one, in multiple weather and multiple seasons. With that being said, guys, this is the end of the tour. My 1 hour is up. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for commenting. Thank you all for your retention. Please hit that thumbs up button. It'll really help out the channel. When this video ends, please leave a comment in the comment section. Share your thoughts, share your knowledge, share your stories. I'm sorry I didn't get to it all today. I do not know it all, but together we are going to thrive. With that being said, for the third time, this is your boy Tune, and Tune is over and out of here.